So we're way over the halfway point right now of this series, and I want to be honest here, I want to let this out. I love this series, I love the way it's been, I love the feels of relaxation it gives me, but there's one thing I want to throw out there right now. There's a couple of things that's worrying me about this series. For one thing, it's going at a slow pace, which as you all know, I'd rather have a slow pace than anything. But I have a worry in my heart right now that these last couple episodes that are going to come out most likely are going to be geared towards the plot, and they're going to rush and force everything, and they're going to completely destroy this series, or most likely they're just going to leave us on a cliffhanger with no possibility of a season 2. So, pretty much, these are my worries I've been feeling recently on these last couple episodes of Escha Logy, because, I mean, we haven't had really any progression. All we've had is subtle hints of character development, along with the floating ruins in the sky that, Escha wants to go to. That's really all we have got. We really haven't had any character development that's completely major and relevant to the overall plot in this series. I mean, the major plot of the series really technically hasn't been revealed yet, which is kind of upsetting me. I like this series, I like the cast of characters, it's very relaxing. I mean, they should have just made this a slice of life series because it was really interesting. But let's talk about this episode, okay? But now that I got my concerns and worries out of the way, let's talk about this episode. This episode pretty much, once again, was another relaxing episode and had some great, beautiful music, and we get to see a Hot Springs episode. So yeah, we have the traditional Hot Springs episode in Escha Logy, which it wasn't, geared straight towards fan service. I mean, we may have had our cliche conversation of how they were all comparing their opie sizes, but besides that, I mean, there was nothing else that was really cliche. So I have to say this Hot Springs episode wasn't that bad. It wasn't just catered for just nothing but fan service. The main point of this episode, if you're looking for a plot, was pretty much Willibelle just hunting down the Flame Ruler to be able to have a contract with her. So right there, that's pretty much the main goal of this episode. Even though by the end of this episode, Willibelle never makes a contract with the Flame Ruler. So it's kind of upsetting we didn't get to see that. But still, we find out also a little bit of character development on Willibelle, that she pretty much has some form of teacher to where she is training. She's a witch in training. So, interesting right there. We find out a little bit more about her, how she's just training to be a better witch. But that's really, if I look at it in a sense, that's all that really happened this episode, besides a little conversation between Logy and Escha's brother. I mean, that's all that we saw. And so, disappointing. It's really disappointing. I like the feels this series gives, as I always say every episode. And the animation may not be the best, but it has that nice, good, heartfelt feel to it that makes you just, enjoy it. But I'm just getting very concerned about this series because we haven't had any development. I mean, major development. I mean, usually at this point past, like, episode 7, at the very least, we'd have some form of plot, even if it was going slow or fast, and we haven't. I understand this is based off of a game, and a game is supposed to be, slow, which I am fine with. If it's completely following the game exact or whatever, that is fine with me. I am fine. As I always say, I'm fine with this pacing. I hopefully they handle it correctly. I hope they don't rush it the last couple episodes and just destroy it. And at the very least, hopefully they announce the season 2 to conclude this, because that's the only concern I have right now. I mean, overall, I feel like this episode was enjoyable. Just, I wonder if everybody else has concerns like I do right now about this series, because the pacing this series is going at feels like something you would do for a 50-episode series. That's exactly what this pacing feels like, and it feels like it's going, unnaturally slow. So everybody tell me your thoughts on this episode and this series so far. Do you feel like we're going to actually have a rushed ending? Do you feel like we're going to have a cliffhanger? Do you feel like we're not going to get any development until the very end? They'll probably announce a season 2. Let me know in the comments below, and I love you all so much. Please be safe. Chibi out.